Wrongly accused husband of infidelity. Turns out he was hiding his erectile dysfunction instead. FML. 36M33F 12 years, posted by u/Sebastianlim on r/BestofRedditorUpdates. Concluded. I am not up. The up of this story is u/throwaway213495. Trigger warnings, accusations of infidelity. Mood spoilers, it turns out alright. Wrongly accused husband of infidelity. Turns out he was hiding his erectile dysfunction instead. FML. 36M33F 12 years, posted August 26, 2014. Update post. Pretty much what the title says. We've been together for 12 years and married for 8. I noticed that my husband's sex drive has been non-existent for the past few months, which was very bothersome considering we went from sex multiple times a week to no sex at all within a week. He also put a password on his phone and began guarding both his phone and his computer a lot more. He would be type and click furiously while the screen was pointed away from me, but the second I'd walk up next to him, he'd switch to Netflix or something like that. I also noticed that he became much less physically affectionate with me. To me, everything pointed to infidelity. I've never been cheated on before, to my knowledge, so I could have been over-paranoid, but I don't think it was illogical to assume that something shady was going on behind my back. So this morning I saw him crouched over his laptop on the sofa doing more of his furious typing and clicking, so I reached over and grabbed his laptop to see what he was doing. He panicked and knocked the laptop out of my hands onto the floor. I was just shocked and disgusted. At that point, I was so sure he was having an affair. I told him that I could not believe he would betray my trust like that, and I told him to get out of our house. We got into a huge argument that primarily consisted of me cutting off his explanation attempts with nasty insults. Once he calmed me down and explained everything. He showed me his 5-page Google Doc with all of his links detailing methods to deal with erectile dysfunction, and he showed me all of the text messages he sent to his brother about this. He's very upset that I think he's capable of cheating, and he did end up leaving the house to stay with a friend because he wanted time alone to clear his head. I made an awfully big mess for myself and I don't know how to repair things. TLDR, husband was being secretive about erectile dysfunction, but I accused him of infidelity. Update, wrongly accused husband of infidelity. Turns out he was hiding his erectile dysfunction instead. FML. 36M33F 12 years, posted August 29, 2014. Original post. I am deeply grateful for the people that assisted me in researching my husband's condition. Thank you. This update certainly isn't comprehensive and things are far from resolved, but I figured I owed this to the few people that did legitimately contribute. My husband came back at around 9 p.m., he left at 10 a.m., on Monday. Once I found out that Ed was linked to heart issues, I started freaking out because his family has a history with cardiovascular disease. I think that was the reason he came back home. As I researched more about Ed, I furiously texted him like 100 times and left him dozens of voicemails begging him to at least go to a medical professional to get himself checked, even if he still didn't want to talk to me. But instead he came home and told me he had been meeting with his doctor, who said there was no indication that his Ed was linked to heart disease. I hugged him, cried a little bit, and apologized profusely for everything. I had been extremely worried about his family's past with cardiovascular problems, so hearing that a trained medical profession did not find any issues yet gave me a lot of strength. He comforted me and offered me a chance to explain everything from my perspective. So I did. I started by telling him that I knew I was to blame for our situation and that I would never be able to justify my breakdown, but I really wanted him to know the reasoning behind my thought process. I told him how awful these past few months have been for me. I told him how hurt I was when I spent hours making his favorite dinner, lighting up candles, and dolling myself in new lingerie, just to have him come home and head straight to the couch without even acknowledging me. I told him how unloved and hurt I felt once I realized he was reusing excuses to not have sex with me. I told him I was vulnerable and I let my insecurities get the better of me. I even told him about this subreddit and about all of the horror stories I've read on here. I also told him that more than anything, I love him and I will do whatever it takes to repair our marriage. I offered him my unconditional support with his ed and agreed to go to any therapy or counseling that he deems necessary. He squeezed my hand and apologized to me. He explained that he did not want me to lose respect for him as a man, and I let him know that I didn't respect him any less because of his ed. We both agreed that we hurt the other, but we also agreed that we love each other very much and we want this marriage to work. So we're working on it and his ed together. The specifics of that don't really matter, but no, we did not break up over this. TL, DR, husband and I are working on things.